All right, man. So, brother Keyshawn Davis missed weight over 4 pounds, 4.3 pounds. He missed weight. All right. A lot of people calling this a setup. As I'm shooting this video Friday after evening, it's being said that Keyshawn, that Santos, who's Edwin De Los Santos' promoter, is saying that they're not gonna fight, but they will continue to negotiate a purse. Now, 4 pounds is crazy. That's basically they fighting in 2 different weight classes. I'm not sure what Edwin came in at, but Edwin looked drained. Jamil Heron pointed out how his face looked sunken in. And what you do is, and what Lomachenko failed to do was to put a rehydration clause on Orlando Salido. He should have put a rehydration clause on Orlando Salido. So, it has to be a rehydration clause. If not, I wouldn't fight, unless if it's a significant amount of money. And very unprofessional. The man ain't fought since Shakur Stevenson fight. Talking about Edwin De Los Santos. Most people thought he was being here to set up, and that's why people don't think Keyshawn Davis is good, because he fought Lamons, and Lamons, missed the weight, so it was like, he trash. He wasn't the same Lamons that fought Richardson Hitchison. Now you blew off the weight versus Edwin De Los Santos. He already coming off. Damn, I think he fought Shakur Stevenson in November of 2023. So what's that? A year? So that's about a 19-month layoff. And then you just blow the weight. Now, what's so funny about it is somebody I know from Virginia, from that area, said they was out partying last night at the bowling alley, and he basically was saying what Keyshawn was eating. Let me tell you this about the game, right? Let me tell you this about the game. They know when they off a weight. Like when you weighing in, in advance. In advance that you're gonna miss weight. You know it. In advance you're gonna miss weight. So if you struggling to make weight, right? Why would you be at the bowling alley the night after before? He didn't do everything. And he said after the press conference he did everything to try to make the weight. Or after, no, he didn't. They knew they was fighting a puncher, and I believe he wanted an advantage. And think about how even if it's true that he knew he was struggling making the weight. I'm telling you how this go. You chart your weight, right? He called out Amir Abdullah for calling him out, knowing that he was nowhere near the weight, knowing this was going to be his last fight at the weight. That's the con artist shit. They set De Los Santos up, and you want to see why PBC or these promoters don't want to work with each other, because somebody always on some bull jive. You know what I'm saying? They knew this man couldn't make the weight. If you knew you were struggling to make the weight, he said his last fight he struggled to make the weight. Then, vacate the belt and move up, because you saying that, he dug Raimondo Mortella too. He's saying that, I don't want to fight for belts. They charging me this and that amount of money for the belt. Why would I want to unify? And I got to do it. I'm just listening to this guy, bro. Like, boxing is dead, bro. It died with this generation. It started to die the generation before Pacquiao and Floyd, but it died with this generation. It's dead. And I'm going to talk about what he said versus Mortella, too. I'm going to talk about that. But they set Edwin De Los Santos up. Came off a long layoff. They had no intentions on making the weight. They knew because he was a puncher that they wanted to. Well, I think that's what they did. They knew he was a puncher. Let's have an advantage so we can make sure we take the punch. The added weight help you absorb the punishment a lot better. You see some guys, they drain themselves to make a weight, and they might get knocked out or they get dropped in some of these fights, and they move up and they look stronger, because that's where they're supposed to be at. You got to understand, when they making dangerous weight cuts like they do for accolades or to boost their resume so they can get more money, when you making them dangerous weight cuts, It started to pull from your body and make you weak. When you young, you can get over. It's like when you young, you go out there, drink all night, and then you can go run in the morning and work out in the morning and sweat the alcohol out. You know, when you young, you can work through injuries and they're gonna heal themselves. When you get older, you can't. Your body don't operate the same no more. And think about it. You're aging your don't you turn out there. You're turning up your speed. How can I say this? You're killing yourself when you do that. So you're cutting your life expectancy rate when you cutting weights like that. You cutting weight like that, and you were taking punishment. So really, in the long term, it don't benefit you. It doesn't benefit you to cut that weight and take punishment. You're killing yourself. You're already killing yourself by depriving your body of nutrition and water. You know, then you cutting the weight from the you cutting weight from the body and you taking punishment. It's nasty work. But they didn't plan on. I think they set De Los Santos up. They knew he was a puncher. And, you know, kind of thinking about it, I heard Brian Norman do an interview with Mill City, shout out the dog. And he said that Edwin De Los Santos is the hardest puncher he's been in the ring with, him and Tank. And he been in the ring in there with Bud. And you can take that for the grain of salt because sparring is sparring. But he said that's the hardest puncher he fought. So they already knew what it was. That's why I say, man, this is why these promoters don't work together. Because they scandalous, bro. If you look at how they take advantage of the fighters, them fighters ain't got no money, dog. Even when you think about Floyd Mayweather and think about the money he grows, Al Heyman made more money off Floyd Mayweather than Mayweather made off Mayweather. Y'all be believing these niggas. These niggas is broke. They don't have what they say they have. It's the same formula in Hollywood that they use in Hollywood to keep them broke. The way they stealing from these fighters, bro, or taking from these fighters, you know, 30% to the manager, 30% to the promoter. The daddy could be getting a quarter. Nigga broke at the end of the day, bro. 60 to 75% of your check is gone before you hit taxes, bro. What are we talking about? Then when the managers bring sponsorship in, believe it or not, they taxing on us. They getting a piece of the sponsorship. I had a homie, man. I ain't talked to him in a minute of shit. He got into plumbing and shit. He seen this video. He didn't know what I'm talking. And it was a fighter. I'd say the fuck fighter name. I think it was Brian Castanos. Don't quote me on that. So he wanted him to wear a patch for his company. I think it might have been one of the Charlo fights. And he told him like 10 G's. And I think allegedly. And I think he was trying to either tax him a little bit more or take some of the 10 G. He was saying 10, in my opinion, allegedly. He was telling them 10, but he was going to give Castanos 5. You know how it worked. Y'all know how the game go. So, yeah, it's a dirty game, man. They setting them up. That's why I like, man. You know, when you do shit like that, man, right now you get over, but God got a way of evening that shit out, bro. They set that man up, in my opinion. They did. And I see Punch Drunk on X talking about Dominican fighters get a raw deal. Well, shit. Cubans been getting fucked for years, bro. That's a fact. Cubans been getting messed up. And Dominican fighters, he ain't lying. They always put Dominican fighters in a position of weak. And you know, they treat them like condoms, used condoms. You know, flush them down the toilet, put them in your pocket, take it with you, or then throw them in a trash can. They really do get them a raw deal, bro. They really do. I would have to agree with him on that point. And De Los Santos, you know, at the end of the day, he been out for almost 2 years. You think he can't afford to get a check? You know what I'm saying? He need the money. Can't nobody go almost 2 years without a check, nigga. Even if he going back to the DR, you know what I'm saying? And somebody texted me today, man. I'm not about to say the fight. I don't even remember the fighter's name. It was a particular fighter. I don't know, right? And he said that I'm gonna leave everybody now. I forget the fighter. I can look it. I ain't gonna say it. But he said he made $100,000 one fight and only took home $6 grand. They stole. I don't even know the percentages of that. Well, I mean, shit. 1%. What? What about 5, 6%? 6%? They took 94% of this dude's purse, bro. He said he made 100 grand, only took home $6,000. You know, and they don't really understand that when you start to hear like people say, "Oh, 9 to 5 guys are broke." No, y'all be surprised. A lot of y'all are a lot more well off. A lot of y'all are more well off at your 50, 75 grand, 100 grand. I know y'all, a lot of y'all pushing around that 100 grand mark. I see y'all brothers. A lot of y'all more well off than these fighters. I'm telling you, bro. These niggas is broke, bro. They doing Instacart. You driving Uber and Lyft. They robbing these niggas blind, and then you got then they financial habits and shit. A lot of y'all got health care, pensions, 401ks, FSA, HSA accounts. You know what I'm saying? These dudes ain't got none of that. All that's coming out their pocket. At the end of the day, they broke, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro. I'm trying to tell you, man. But so yeah, they set that man up, and that's a fact. But you know, it is what it is, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. Appreciate the love, support. Join the Patreon. Check out the Free Game 89 channel, my Detroit channel, all in the link tree. Peace.